What's up, guys? First Q&A of 2020. Sunday night, it's late, it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I just want to sit down and have like a conversation, chit chat video with you guys, do a Q&A, answer questions, talk about life and everything. And yeah, this is just gonna be a very chatty video. I did ask you guys on Instagram to send me over some questions, so I'm gonna try to answer as many of those as possible. I love Q&A videos. I do them at least once a month for the most part. So if you guys like Q&A videos too, make sure to give this one a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I feel like Q&A videos are just a great way for me to like not only answer questions, but also just get a lot of things on my mind out in one video and just kind of do updates. I feel like I don't really know where I'm at in life right now, so it's nice just to be able to like sit down and talk about it, because it's, in a way, it's like a therapeutic thing for me, if that makes sense. Anyways, we just got home. I just put Scarlett to bed too, by the way, and we stopped at Sonic and I got a Coke Zero with vanilla. So that is what I'm drinking. That's my go-to Sonic drink order. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the Q&A. The first question is, what trips do you have planned for this year? I don't technically have anything planned yet. However, I am working on securing some babysitting because I am going to be doing a beach vacation, which I will explain later. I'm thinking about Bermuda, thinking about somewhere in the Bahamas. I love Turks and Caicos. I really want to go back there because I've been there before, but I want to go somewhere I haven't been. This year, I also want to take Scarlett back to Disneyland. Such an easy trip for us. I want to do like a Great Wolf Lodge trip with her because one just opened up here in the Phoenix area. And I'm sure I'm going to be going back to Kansas to visit family. Is your betta fish still alive? R.I.P. Luna, you were a good fish. When getting pregnant with Scarlett, were you trying? So I've explained this before, I think, but I think it's been a long time. The first time Ty and I got pregnant, we were not expecting that. I was on birth control and I got pregnant, and we ended up miscarrying that baby. So that was completely devastating. And after the miscarriage, we were both kind of like, well, like we felt like this is what was supposed to happen already. And so we just stopped preventing, I guess, after the miscarriage, because we just both felt like that is what life was going to be before the miscarriage. And we were just already in that mindset of having a child and like thinking about, you know, becoming parents and everything, that we were so devastated when we did miscarry the first time that we just were not preventing anything. And that's how we got pregnant with Scarlett. We got pregnant with Scarlett 3 months after I miscarried. I believe that was the time frame. I miscarried in January of 2016. We were pregnant with Scarlett in April of 2016. Next question, is it really tough being a single mom? How do I explain this? Okay, so there are certain things about being a single parent that, yes, they are, I mean, it is tough at times, but I'm very thankful for the way I've set myself up with my work, and I'm thankful I'm able to be a stay-at-home mom, work for mom, single mom, wear all those hats. So that definitely helps make this whole experience a lot more, like a lot less stressful. I'm not having to stress about going out and getting a job after being a stay-at-home parent. I have my own income, so I didn't have to worry about like getting a job or anything like that after Ty and I did divorce. So I feel like because of that, it's made the whole transition and process not that difficult. But there are the normal, like doing the routines by yourself and not being able to, I don't know, run to the store and grab, like if I'm out of milk or something, like I have to bring Scarlett with me or do it when Ty has Scarlett. In the past, when you referred to personal problems, was it actually the marital issues? I can't exactly remember, but I'm gonna assume that a lot of times, yes, I was talking about that. Of course, there were other things. Like it wasn't just, like whenever I'd say there was something personal going on, it wasn't just because of my relationship, it was other things. There's a lot of other things that I've had to deal with in my life that I haven't actually shared. Scarlett's yelling at me, BRB. Okay, that took about 15 minutes, but we are back. I've gotten this question a lot through DMs, and just like every Q&A I get this question, and it's, how did you know it was time to call it quits with your marriage? Asking because I'm in that situation. First of all, I'm really sorry you're even having to like put yourself in that situation, even think about that. I think there comes a point where you have used all of your resources and you are just, you know, you don't know what to do. You just know, like you just know. There comes a time where you have to put your foot down and find that courage to stand up for yourself and stand up for what you want, and the life that you want and make a decision. So for those of you who've asked me this question, I wish I could tell you this magical moment that occurred where I, like the one thing happened and you know, that was it, but that's just not how it was in my experience. And you recognize it when it's time, and it doesn't have to be a certain event that happens or like a certain thing that's said. What was your biggest accomplishment in 2019? In 2019, I feel like I learned a lot about myself. I grew a lot as a person. I learned to stand up for what I want and what I need in my life. And I started caring less about what other people think of me and started becoming my own person. And I find a lot of beauty in that. I feel like everybody kind of gets to that point. And when somebody gets to that point where they realize like what they want, who they are, what they can give the world, all of that, which I'm still, I mean, I don't want to sound like I know exactly what I'm doing in my life, because my life is definitely not where I thought it would be, but I definitely feel like I know more of who I am and what I want, and I've recognized that what I want in my life is okay and I deserve that. And I think in 2019, like, I finally just realized that like I don't need anybody to make me happy. The only person who can truly make me happy is myself. I'm the only person who can bring happiness and create happiness in my life. And I don't know, that just clicked with me in 2019. Yeah, 2019 was a challenging year, don't get me wrong. It's very challenging, but it was also a really, really good year. Favorite go-to toddler approved dinner, help me. Anything that has to do with carbs, pizza, pasta, always a winner. Scarlett also really likes rotisserie chicken, so if we're trying to be like a healthy meal, I'll just get a rotisserie chicken. She dips it in ketchup. It's perfect. Who's your favorite country singer? Probably George Strait, I'd say. George Strait or Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw's a good one. Does Scarlett ever refuse her nap? She seems so happy to go down for it. So Scarlett loves her naps. She still naps very well. Nothing's changed. She usually takes a nap around like 1:30 every single day. She usually naps for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then she goes to bed around 8. Well, between 8 and 9. So yeah, I have no plans of cutting her nap out. I'll just let her decide if that is the route we go, but she loves sleep. She loves her nap time, and she's such a high-strung, like high-energized child that I think that's why, like, she doesn't have a lot of downtime. So I think that's why she sleeps so well. Where are your slipper sandal things from? I'm guessing you're talking about these. These are from Express. I will link these below. They're so soft and comfy and cute. They have this like little sequin detail right here. Actually, you know what? I think I looked on their website and they were sold out. So if they're not sold out, I'll link them. Favorite TV shows. I honestly don't watch much TV, but I do watch like seasons when they come out of certain shows. Right now I'm watching You. I did watch the first season, so the second season just came out and it's pretty good. So that's what I'm watching right now. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV. I really don't. I watch TV to go to bed. I'm that kind of person who likes to fall asleep with the TV on. And usually it's Criminal Minds. Like, that's what I fall asleep to. Criminal Minds is just like a go-to show for me. Like, if I don't know what to watch, I just watch Criminal Minds. How is your relationship with your ex? It's good. How do you make that work with your daughter? Ty and I have a great relationship. What was Scarlett's favorite Christmas gift? She's been playing with her tea set that I got her, which was actually, was that a birthday gift? No, I think it was a Christmas gift. That tea set that I got her from Disney, from the Disney store, she loves it. She's been playing with that nonstop. When did you get Indy and how did you all get him? We bought him off Craigslist. He's a Craigslist dog. I saw an ad for him and he was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. Ty and I wanted to get a dog when we moved here to Arizona, and yeah, he was the one. So he was the runt of the litter. He was the last one left, and we went and picked him up, fell in love with him, and brought him home. So he is 4 years old. Oh wait, almost 5. Is that right? Yeah, he's almost 5, I think. He'll be 5 this year, so we've had him since he was a puppy. How are Scarlett's hips doing, fellow hip dysplasia mom? I see you. Hip dysplasia, that was a fun journey. Just kidding, totally just kidding. That was a very tough journey, very frustrating journey. If you guys are new here, Scarlett had hip dysplasia. She was diagnosed with it when she was 6 months old, 7 months old. She was in a brace for 8 months, and then she ended up having surgery when she was 20 months old, 20-ish, 21 months, I don't remember. But I shared all of it on my YouTube channel, and ever since the surgery, we've had a couple appointments and all has looked well. We go back every year now, so her next appointment will be in the spring. With the surgery, they went in and added like a cadaver bone to her hip bone so it would lay in the socket better. And as she grows, it may not like hold up well or lay right. And we won't really know that unless we have x-rays, so it would cause issues as she gets older and starts growing more. But if something's wrong, I probably wouldn't know unless we had the x-ray. So that's why we go back for yearly appointments, just to monitor that as she grows. Scarlett's hip was so bad, they said that if she didn't have surgery, she was gonna have to have a hip replacement before age 30. So happy we went through with the surgery, and I'm so glad it was successful. Hopefully it stays like that. New Year's resolutions or goals. Well, I got a lot of stuff to figure out this year. I think my number one goal, resolution, whatever you want to call it, I think the number one thing I'm really trying to focus on this year is just prioritizing relationships. Prioritizing like any relationship in my life. It's always been a priority to me, but I feel like it's very easy to take things for granted, and I'm really trying just to, you know, make sure that even if I'm thinking about somebody, or if I like think about my sister or something, I text her instead of just like thinking about her. Like just like little things like that is something I'm really trying to act on. Life gets busy, things get busy in your life, and I just don't want to ever take anything for granted and regret that. So I think that is the number one thing I'm working on. I'm sure you've said it a billion times, but how tall are you? I'm 5'7"-ish, maybe a little bit taller than that. Potty training advice, I have an entire video on this. I will link it down below. Any advice for someone thinking about divorce with a young kiddo? Have a plan in place if you can before the divorce starts. If you're asking your significant other for a divorce, role play in your head different situations. Role play in your head how things could go. So how they're gonna react and how you're going to respond to that reaction and what you're gonna need to do. I hope that makes sense, but you just need to really think things through. And counseling, going to a counselor, talking about that first, private sessions, or maybe even addressing divorce in a session, in like a couple session, that could be extremely beneficial. Also, to touch on that, counseling is huge if you can afford it, if you're, you know, both parties are willing to participate in counseling. That is like my number one recommendation. If you're even considering a divorce, please do counseling first. I don't feel like divorce is the always the solution. I don't feel like it's something just to jump into. I feel like you really need to think it through and, you know, use all other options first, because it is a big deal and it can really affect people. Growing up, having my parents divorced, I get it from both sides. I understand how divorce can affect you, and it's just not something to throw around or deal with lightly. So to sum up all of that, best pieces of advice if divorce is even like a topic of discussion in your marriage, which I'm sorry if it is, but try counseling. Make sure you have a plan for yourself, for your children, whether that's financially or, you know, whatever. Just make sure you have a plan. You need to think things through. And then number 3, I'd say, is just to make sure you surround yourself with support. Whoever, friends, family, coworkers, you need support. What is the thing making you happiest right now? I mean, there's a lot of things making me happy. Like, I feel really happy in my life right now, actually. A lot of things making me happy. Scarlett, obviously, is the number one thing that makes me happy. I'm doing some redecorating and new spaces, and redecorating always makes me happy. And just some new beginnings and new relationships forming that are making me pretty happy. To touch on that, let's chat for a second. Lots of questions asking if I'm starting to date again, because I did mention that like a couple months ago, I don't remember, before the holidays, that I had been on a couple dates and I wasn't ready, and I think I know why, but I guess the answer to that question is yes, I have started dating, and I am dating one person, and yeah, it's going good. It's going good so far. Taking things very slow, but I'm happy, and yeah. What is Scarlett's favorite playtime activities? Anything sensory play related, anything that has to deal with getting her hands in something and scooping and pouring and whatever. I mean, whether it's water or sand or her colored beans that she plays with, or rice, whatever. Those are like that's her favorite thing to do. Favorite thing to do when you have time kid-free? I would definitely say it is either like eating by myself, picking up my favorite meal and literally enjoying a meal to myself, filming a video. I greatly enjoy that. I really enjoy doing that, like for my YouTube channel, or I don't know what else. I like doing things for myself, like, you know, going to get my nails done or something. Workout motivation and best pre-workout. My favorite pre-workout is the Alani Nu, probably the cotton candy grape. That one's super good. I actually need to buy some more. You can get it at GNC or Amazon. I think you can get it on Amazon. Yeah, you can. The Alani Nu products are my absolute favorite. They taste really good, and I do feel like they're effective. I honestly don't really have any workout motivation. Like, my workout motivation is myself, because it's just so instilled in my routine. I've been consistently going to the gym for almost a year now. However, I will say my motivation for going to the gym is probably like the mental clarity that it gives me. And do you meal prep? If so, would you be willing to film a video on it? I'm not against meal prepping, but I'm super picky on what I meal prep, because I don't know, like, I have a weird thing about leftovers. I really like leftovers if it's like soup or something. I don't like meal prepping chicken unless it's smothered in barbecue sauce or something, but I have meal prepped in the past. I'm not saying I'll never meal prep again, but I would just much rather cook a fresh meal. However, a meal prep video would be kind of fun, so maybe someday I'll do it. What did you go to school for? I went to school for psychology. I got a Bachelor of Arts in psychology, and then I got a minor in criminal justice. That was an accident. I loved taking the criminal justice classes, and I just accidentally fell into a minor of criminal justice. It was kind of funny, but that is what I went to school for. And then I worked in the field for 2-3 years, something like that, 2 or 3 years. I started in foster care and licensing, and then I moved to Arizona and worked in behavioral health as a case manager for kids with intensive behavioral health needs. It was a crazy job. It was good. I learned a lot of life lessons in that job, but very sad, very sad. Heartbreaking situations. What's your love language? Okay, so I really am conflicted about this, because I look at all the love languages and I feel like I seriously fall into every single category. Like, I appreciate every category equally. What are they again? Now I gotta look it up. Acts of service, gift. I actually have this book and I read it. It's like the last book I read. Acts of service, yep. Receiving gifts, yep. Quality time, yes. Physical touch, yes. Words of affirmation, yes. See, like, I literally love them all. Yeah, like I said, I've read the book. I actually own the book. I read the book thoroughly, and I just, like, I appreciate them all. I don't know where I fit in. Even with an amicable split, did you expect your relationship with Ty to be so awesome? No. And it's funny that with how well the divorce went, with how, like, much I appreciated him being so generous and like willing to make my life easy through the divorce, and I hate to say, like, give me everything that I want, but he did give me everything that I want. That sounds so bad. I sound like such a brat saying that, but, like, honestly, like, there was no, like, if I said I wanted something, he said okay, and I give him credit for that. Like, I give him props for that. He really really impressed me throughout the divorce, and I am very grateful that it all went that way. And yeah, it just definitely made me see him in a different light, that's for sure. I mean, I knew we'd get along, because that's just, like, I feel like we've just always been, like, a good friend, like, been good friends to each other, so I had a feeling we would stay friends. But yeah, I didn't think it would go as well as it did, and we would, you know, be celebrating Christmas together this year. Little things like that. So I am so grateful that this is life right now. I know it's pretty abnormal for divorces to go like this, but I mean, there's nothing I can do except be grateful for all of this. When did Scarlett start school, and what was her transition like for her? She started school this past fall, so she was a little over 2.5 years old. She goes to a mini threes program, so she only goes to, it's like a mini preschool. She only goes for 2 hours twice a week, so it's a very like short, fast class. But honestly, she was so incredibly ready for school that the transition was fine. Like, we didn't have really any issues. The drop-offs were like sometimes a little difficult. Like, she'd want me and didn't want me to leave, but once she was actually in the classroom, she was fine. So, and that only lasted maybe 2 or 3 classes. Do you and Ty talk daily? Yes, we do. This might be personal. Yes, girl, I love personal. But did you get stretch marks when pregnant? So I did. I got a couple. They're not like, you probably wouldn't notice them, but I noticed them. I have a couple like on my thighs, not my thighs, like my hips. And they're like the white ones, so and I'm white, like really white. So they really blend in with my skin. It's not that big of a deal. Stretch marks in general are not that big of a deal. Let me just make that clear. If you have stretch marks, be grateful for those. There's nothing wrong with a stretch mark. I also got them in this area because when I was pregnant, yeah, they expanded quite a bit. Are you going to be buying your own house this year? No, I am not even interested in buying, especially in Phoenix right now, especially in Gilbert. It's not a buyer's market at all. But I'm just not, that's not the phase of life I'm in at the moment. I am very happy renting in my apartment at the moment. This isn't a forever thing. This is a temporary thing, but I'm content. How do you stay so calm and positive with Scarlett? Being a single mom is so hard. I'm not gonna film myself losing my SHIT, but it happens, and I mean, it happens a lot more than you guys probably think, probably at least once a day. That's just reality, that's just motherhood. Like, I lose my patience just like everybody else, and although I try to be super calm and collected and always redirect before anything, there are times when redirection isn't working, where nothing is working, and you know, I am frustrated and I say something I shouldn't say or yell when I shouldn't yell or whatever. But yes, I'm a mom, I'm human, I lose my cool too, and I don't want you guys to ever think that I don't, because I do. Favorite food, crab legs. Favorite alcohol drink. Recently I've been really loving grape, 3 olives, and Sprite. Was watching your old vlogs recently. Do you still hang out with Brooke? I literally talk to Brooke at least once a week, if not more. Brooke moved back to California, so that is why you guys don't see her in my vlogs anymore. We're still very good friends. We have a group chat with me, Bailey, Brooke, and Nicole. We talk all the time. We're still very much in each other's lives. I just haven't seen her for a while. What subjects do you think Scarlett will excel in? She loves like building things. Like at the gym, whenever I go pick her up, this is typically what's happening. She's playing by herself. She is building a tower in a corner by herself, playing by herself, building a tower out of blocks every single time. And the girls who work there, they say that that's what she does almost the entire time that I'm gone. And I find that very interesting. It's not that she doesn't play well with kids, because she does. She's just very into, like when she goes there, there's so many blocks, and she's very into building towers and building things like that, that she just like is totally consumed in that and really enjoys it and really loves it. So I don't know, maybe she'll be like an architect or something. Maybe she'll do good in math. She's always had an interest in numbers, and she learned to count very early on. She could count to 20 by the time she was 2.5. So she's been very interested in counting and numbers, so maybe math. Do you have your co-parenting plan set with the courts, or did you and Ty keep it out of the courts? Out of the court. Yes, we do. I personally, if you're going through divorce, I recommend doing everything through the courts if you can, just to protect yourself. You never know, like divorce does crazy things to people. You never know how somebody's gonna react. You never know how you know, things are gonna be when new people, like new relationships are brought into the mix. If you start dating somebody else, you just never know how people are going to respond or react. Unfortunately, in a lot of situations, the kids are used as, what do I wanna say? Like as a property, as like a leverage, or, as a way to get back at the other person, and it's so wrong. And Ty and I, from the beginning, we knew we didn't want to do that for Scarlett. But having those rules set by the court is like an insurance. It just protects both parties, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That doesn't mean you have to follow it, because our rules are set by the courts, but we don't follow it. But if, you know, God forbid I'd ever have to do that, at least it's there, and that security for me is there. What's your favorite dinner recipe? Any kind of soup. I love eating soups, love cooking soups. They're my favorite. How long did you stay married while thinking of divorce? Probably about a year. It probably took us a full year to actually act on the divorce. And through that year, we were going through counseling. We were, you know, working on things, and we'd have really good months. We'd have really rough months. Did you breastfeed? If so, how was it? It was miserable. It was literally the worst thing for me. So many things I think were wrong. I definitely want to do it again. I want to try again. But with Scarlett and I, it just did not work. I was completely uneducated. I didn't like pursue getting a lactation specialist or anything like that, which when I have a second child, I definitely have a lot of things I want to do differently. But breastfeeding was literally like killing all of the joyful moments of motherhood for me, especially in the first couple weeks. And I only ended up breastfeeding Scarlett for a couple weeks. Like, that was it. And then I switched to formula and realized how much happier we both were. I think I breastfed for 4 weeks, but she was not gaining weight. She wasn't getting anything from me. I wasn't producing. We just had so many issues. I don't think she was latching right because I was in so much pain, and it never went away until the day I stopped breastfeeding, which was maybe like 4 weeks into it. I was crying every single time I'd feed her. It was that painful. Something was definitely wrong. I just didn't know what to do. First time mom, I didn't know what to do. Did visiting your family make you want to move back? I love my family. I miss my family so much, and it's always really hard to leave them. But I truly love Arizona. I love everything that, you know, I love my life here. I love my friends. I love all the places to eat and all the food. And I feel like I've established myself here in Arizona that I don't think I could ever leave. I mean, never say never, but I'm very happy with my location and where I live. What do you do when Scarlett's having a bad day? Leave the house, like change of scenery, go on a walk. How old are you? I am 27 and a half. I have a July birthday. And then I got a couple questions asking, how do I deal with loneliness? I actually, like, I think I've talked about this before. I don't really experience loneliness that much. There are certain moments where I've felt lonely, but they're quickly, like, they come and go because I keep myself so busy. And I think that is, I mean, I think there's like positives and negatives to that. I don't allow myself to feel lonely, which is maybe an issue. But when you do separate, or when you do get divorced, I've listened to a ton of podcasts on divorce and all of that. When you do separate from a relationship like that, that is your moment to shine. That is your moment to pick up that hobby you've been wanting to do, or you know, find yourself again. Figure out what's gonna, you know, what's making you happy, what is going to excite you, and what is going to, you know, fulfill your tank more, because your tank more than likely has been so incredibly low, which is probably why, you know, you left your relationship. And if you don't know what is going to fill your tank, or, you know, what hobbies you want to do or whatever, now is the time to explore. So if you've like always wanted to like take up comedy or something, take a comedy class. Do you want to get super fit? Do you want to start cooking more, baking more? Whatever, this is your time to really dive into that, and that should help with the loneliness, because in your free time, you're not going to be sitting there dwelling on negative emotions. You're going to be putting your energy into something productive and something that is fulfilling you. And on that note, I'm gonna cut this Q&A. I think this video is getting way too long, like every Q&A, but I love doing these. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this one a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this. My next video will be a day in the life vlog, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.